My first instrument was the piano. I started at age 5, but my parents had a lot of instruments around the house. So a couple years after that, I started playing around with the harmonica, and one day they brought home an accordion, so I started playing that too. It was maybe I was 8 years old or so, and then I started trombone at age 10. I had a lot of great teachers. I grew up in San Francisco, California. I took advantage of public school music programs and a lot of the institutional programs in the city, like the youth orchestra and the all-city jazz band and Stanford Jazz Workshop, and all these types of things contributed. And there was a great teacher, Ron Madden, in middle school and high school, who inspired a lot of people to become professional musicians. And he would have us free improvise even when we were 11 years old. He would take us to the auditorium and put on blue lights to get us in the mood of imagination. And it was very cool for kids, really inspiring, and got us all hooked on improvising and music. I do teach. I teach at Mannes College, which is also part of the New School. I teach an arranging class, arranging ensemble, where students learn to write for a small ensemble that they themselves perform in. The class is really unique because the students get to hear what they've worked on right away. They get to perform it, and they get to critique each other. So the cello player can say to the clarinet player, this line that you wrote is terrible for the cello. Then the clarinet player can fix it. And I think that's a really helpful tool to have that type of feedback. When I was 13, I had a bar mitzvah, and one of my parents' friends, I don't even remember who it was, but I have to thank them. They went to the record store and they said, I want to give Jacob 15 classic jazz LPs. And they picked out Miles Davis, Thelonious Monk, Charles Mingus, all classic, some of the greatest records. And that was what I had to start with when I was 13. It was a really good place to start. And so all that stuff, those records are still, bouncing around in my head. I've been listening to this Malian balafon player named Lassana Diabate. Plays the balafon, it's like a marimba. And he's one person with 2 sticks, 2 mallets. But it sounds like an orchestra. He's a completely inspiring musician. Just that much creativity can come out of one person with such a simple, seemingly simple instrument, but the result is so rich. This is my 3rd time at Newport Jazz Festival. It's always a pleasure to come up here. I'm lucky this year the weather is beautiful. The first time we played with the John Hollenbeck Large Ensemble, it was a torrential downpour the entire set, and the saxophone section their music got soaked. But one of the greatest things about coming here is I always have so many friends and colleagues who are here, and I get to see them. Some of them I live near them, but I never get to see them because they're so busy. So I get to see them here, and it's like many happy reunions happen right here. Well, one person that I got to hear last year was kind of funny because I had actually played in the band, and that is Miguel Zenon's big band. I had played in the band, but then when I was here, I wasn't playing in the band, I was playing in a different band. So I got to hear his big band as an audience member and not as a musician. But that was a real treat to hear something that you got to be a part of, but you get a completely new perspective just to be in the audience. That was really fun. Jacob Garchik.